So, hi, Professor Renos. It's very, very nice to interview you. And we know that you have a lot of work with refugees, people, migrants, but you have recently a paper that you wrote about the fathers and the father refugees and children. So if you want to talk about this paper and how this is related with the work that we could do here. So.
Yes, well, again, it's lovely to be here and connect with all of you and learn from you. Yes, I think the issue of fathers is quite an important one. I want us, first of all, to put things in context. It's not a good idea to sort of emphasize too much mothers, too much fathers, too much children or whatever, but it's a fact that fathers tend to be ignored. And that paper was in order to really show that we should not neglect the complexities of fathers when they are facing adversity. That particular paper was in relation to specifically refugees. However, the work that JUCONI does, and most people here do, is with families who face adversities, families who are facing different forms of vulnerability, and children the same. So I think these issues, these considerations are applicable here also. Okay. In other words, when we're thinking about fathers, because they're neglected, there is a little bit of a gap. And we're thinking of mothers and children are usually seen as the vulnerable one. Yeah. Well, what about fathers?
They have to be the strongest.
Exactly, that is where the problem is. That's where the problem is.
So maybe because we think that they have to be, but they are not as strong?
Exactly. So fathers
yes.
feel that the whole society has expectations of them to be the strong ones, who don't show feelings, who are able to contain things, to protect everybody, and as we know that is not the case. Okay. They're human beings like anybody else, and therefore these societal expectations that everybody has almost then become oppressive and tyrannizing for them. They make them feel worse, they make them feel failures. And fathers usually are seen either in terms of black or white. In other words, either as heroes who save and protect their family, etc., or as failures because they have failed to do that and they're cowards or whatever. So that kind of polarization makes it very difficult for fathers to experience themselves in some kind of context of reality, and therefore it has a lot of impact on their own feelings and how then they can relate to the rest of the family from that position. So fathers who have experienced adversity, families that have experienced adversity, usually the attention goes to mothers and children. Fathers are neglected. Fathers often, as we know, are actually the perpetrators of violence.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but not all fathers are perpetrators of violence, and even those fathers who are perpetrators of violence, are they themselves victims of violence? Yeah. So this is the complexity. How to help them deal with things so that they can improve themselves, as well as help others, and get out of this trap of being either as heroes or as villains. You see, so that is the difficulty of the fathers, and I feel that the more we're aware of that, even in this context, and I'm aware that actually you are thinking, indeed, in JUCONI to begin to develop special projects for that, isn't it?
Yes, but you're thinking now that the fathers not only in these cases are being like heroes or so failure, is this society and the people around the parents are looking at them in black and white the same way.
Yes.
So this could be working, so know that, because in any case, in any adversity, they have this just black and white.
Yes.
So it's not just in this crisis or not in these
Exactly.
biggest things. This could be in the daily life events.
Exactly.
That at the end of the point is a real black and white
Yes.
that they have to respond to.
Yes. Thank you. And by saying that, indeed, that shows that the work can be done and should be done not only individually with fathers, not only with family, but also there is a lot of public awareness
Yeah.
dimension there, that people should become aware that fathers are also human beings and they have specific pressures on them by everybody and by themselves, because these kind of models of hero and protector and all of that is taken up by them. You know, it's incarnated by them.
Because at the same time, this model of the hero left to the woman to have someone to save them or rescue them.
Yes.
So it's put in in this way, and that's made me think in the family environment and your work about home and what home is.
Yes. Yeah.
So it happens in the home. How this is related with home and how its home is.
Right. Okay. Yes. The other part of my work that I've been involved in for many years is the specific understanding of the uniqueness and the complexities that are involved in the idea of home, the reality of home, the image of home, and the mythology of home.
Mythology.
Yes, because in a sense there are so many myths about home. In a similar way that we're talking about fathers, there are many myths about homes. The wonderful homes, that there are lovely home sweet home and all of that, which of course, you know, is not a reality for people. But how many mythical dimensions, so to speak, are involved in this phenomenon of idealization of home? Take, for example, the idea of homemade products.
Okay.
You know, the homemade products, first of all, the majority of them are a lie.
Yep.
Yeah. In other words, you get something in the factory, says homemade. I mean, of course, it's not homemade. But why is it perpetuated? Why is it continuing? Although we know it's a lie, and we know that that is logically incorrect, it works because it appeals to us something, because the image of home evokes warmth, security, protection, understanding, acceptance, etc. All these wonderful
security, a safety place.
Safety place, a place of safety. So it evokes in people just the very image of home evokes all of these things together. So, in a similar way, these images are not abstractions.
Okay.
They're affecting everybody, and that's what I call about mythology. It's sort of, you know, regardless of people's personal experiences, they also pick up from the society these kind of idealizations of home, and therefore they find it very difficult to cope with their own situation, because of course none of us have ideal homes. We have different degrees of good or bad homes, but we don't have ideal homes. Now, when we work with families who are facing difficulties and violence and dislocation and all sorts of things, and they are struggling with adversity in relation to their own homes, then they become more susceptible to these mythologies of idealized homes. And if we're not aware of these in our work with them, we're going to find it difficult, because one moment they're talking about their real homes, the other they are affected by the mythology of home, and these are intangible subtleties that the work must be picking up. Otherwise, we're going to be in some trouble, because the communication is going to be difficult.
So, and the proposal is like change our own image of home, or
no.
What could do?
Yes, okay.
Because it looks like a big problem. So what do we have to do?
We cannot change the idealized image of home. It's impossible. But if we know that in our work with people, the idealized image of home is present somewhere,
Yes.
then we will try to increase the level of sensitivity of our work so that it can pick up how that is affected, how our work, how our interactions are affected by these idealized images of home.
Okay.
My point is that they are affected, and because we take it for granted and we don't
Yeah.
think that they're affected, then they interfere in the communication, but also they interfere in terms of the effectiveness of our work.
Yeah.
Because 1 minute they are thinking of idealized home, then they are thinking of the real home, and then
Yeah,
they
yeah.
get confused. We get confused also, because the idealized images of home are everywhere.
Yeah, are everywhere, and at the same time are different from everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody has their own uniqueness in
Yes.
terms of what home should represent for them. And we should be careful, because these idealized images create stereotypes that, yes, even the most experienced professional, unwittingly, without knowing, may fall prey of these. And in our work, we sort of expect some kind of idealized positions of these people in terms of homes. So this is my point.
Yeah. So it's become more sensitive, more aware.
Yes.
It's been more human for them, and
Yes.
been more human from us, and have more safety relationship.
Yes. Then we can have our therapeutic encounters in a more informed way as to what they are affected by. What is the impact of these idealized images of home that float around? They don't just float around; they are in people.
Yes.
And we're all affected by
And they
them.
have a lot of. It's a very deep and intensive emotion and reactions. So they can have a very intense emotions and reactions in the both sides.
Yes.
So trying to run away from
Yes.
them, trying to longing that, or trying to feel like this is the new home.
Yes. The other day,
yes.
in the workshops that we were running, and we were talking with your staff, I was struck by an exact example of what I'm talking about. When they were talking about mothers
Yes, that is
who feel that I'm not capable of providing a good home for my children, so I want to give my children away.
Yeah.
Where is that coming from? Because it's coming from an idealized image that they have of what they should be providing for an idealized home, and they deny their own uniqueness in terms of, yes, they may not be perfect mothers in that, but they, with some help, etc., they can be good mothers.
Yeah, or
but
good enough.
Good enough. And that's the key word, good enough mothers. But they cannot accept that, and they give their children away for adoption, or for care,
or the relatives,
fostering or whatever, or relatives, etc., because they do not believe that they can live up to the expectations of providing that kind of idealized home. That's a perfect example of what I'm talking about.
So, thank you very much. I think this is global ideas are integrated. So
Yes.
Thank you for everything.